So a problem we sometimes see with Terraform State is encryption. Yes, Azure Storage will have encryption at rest, which is enabled by default. That's not something that you have to even think about. That's just a service they offer to you at will, or by default, I should say. But if I am an Azure administrator and I have access and I can log in with my account, I can open up the container, I can look in to the blob, I can view the JSON, I can see all the information that's in there. So, and guess what? The secret values are in there as well. So that's not perfect. It's not exactly what we want. But we do have a solution for this. And since version 1.10, we have something that's called ephemeral resources in Terraform, and they are essentially temporary resources. They do not persist to your local or remote state. They do not persist to any plan file or any state artifact for that matter. So this is not the case with like a regular resource or a regular data block in Terraform. So even things that could be like a password, a connection string, an access key, and that's really important to know. Ephemeral blocks, on the contrary, are used more as reference data. So what this means is that if you declare ephemeral resources in Terraform configuration, you will not find them in your state file, and you will not find them in remote state, obviously. Sort of a big thing, and I don't know, let me know, like, I was kind of surprised the first time I learned that that's how state was handled, and a lot of people that I talk to, they are quite surprised when they find out that this is the case. So what we'll do in this video is that we're gonna explore ephemeral resource a bit further. So we will create an Azure Key Vault using Terraform. If you've never seen how to do that, then you will learn this as well. We will create a secret in this key vault, so we will be using the regular method where we declare a key vault resource and a secret resource, etc. And we will create it again essentially in another project but using ephemeral resources. Since we do that, we can have a look at the state configuration, or I should say the state files between the different projects that we're going to build, and you will be able to see kind of the difference between the regular resource and an ephemeral resource, and actually the lack of things in the ephemeral state, but once we cross that bridge. So let's get started. So I will usually head to Terraform registry, which is a good starting point. So first of all, we want to grab the provider configuration, which they let you do in the use provider section. You can just come down here and copy this. We will paste it in our VS Code, and we have to, oops, not that. We have to supply some more information here. So yeah, thank you Copilot. We need a feature part. We also need to provide a subscription ID. So I will enter that. So when we're dealing with Key Vault today, we're gonna need some information about ourselves, but also our tenant. So that's where we can do the data block for the current client configuration, which will look like this. We can call it current. It's the current configuration. And we don't need to do anything else with that. So now we should, yeah, thank you Copilot. We will create a resource group. I don't want it to be named that. I want to have it named as this. This will be RG Demo Ephemeral. And I will be in Sweden Central. So now then I would have to have the key vaults. So we're not going to create a virtual network. We can go back to the registry and enter key vaults. As such, we will copy this part, yep, paste it in. So there's a few things we need to change. I don't want the name to be example. It should be this. This will be KV for Key Vault. Demo ephemeral is fine. We do not care about disk encryption, so I'll just remove that. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, the current config. So it needs the tenant ID. So from this data block, this one that I'm highlighting here, we can actually access the tenant ID from there. So that's fine. Soft delete and purge protection, I will just leave as is. It's not important for this guide. If you don't know what it is, Key Vault has soft delete activated per default. So if you delete a key, or if you delete a certificate or a secret, then it stays in soft delete, so you can restore it. If you go to the additional extent where you will actually grab purge protection and enable that as well, it means that an administrator cannot delete a secret, for example, then go and delete the soft deleted version of it. So it's essentially a protection from that. So you would set the purge protection to true. instead, but we will leave it as is. So the access policy for us is fine as it is. I think we do need for secrets though, since that is what we will be demoing with. We need set, we need list. I think we also need not delete. I think we need not sure. We will start with that. Okay, so now the fun part then. We need a actual secret. I will head down here. I will select a secret. It's quite a small resource, so we'll just grab this. We'll paste it into here. Again, I don't like that name. It'll be this. The name can be secret sauce. It's not the content of the secret. It's just the name in the Azure Portal, what you will reference as. The value is actually the value of the secret. So what we will want to do here is we will declare a new variable. And yeah, description can be the value of the secret, the type is string. We do not want a default. What we can do though is we can say that it is sensitive, true, sensitive. And that's like, if you are not aware, then that sounds good. Like, yeah, I marked it as sensitive. I should be good, right? Well, not quite, but we will get there. So instead of having it hard-coded, we will reference our secret value in there. And I think that's fine. We have the key vault secret. It lives in this key vault. Everything lives in this resource group. And we are importing our configuration. So yeah, let's deploy this. So I will run Terraform init to initialize this. This will look at our Terraform provider blocks. It will look for the specific providers, but also the versions we stated, and it will install those. And it'll put this information in the .terraform.lock.hcl file. So that's information where you can reference this. But yeah, I think we're good. So I will run Terraform apply, and it wants to have the secret value then of the variable. So now I didn't define a default, and I'm not using a tf-vars or a Terraform vars file, so I have to input this manually. So I will input secret I promise. You'll just have to take my word for it. We'll hit enter. So it looks promising. We have our key vaults, we have our secret, and the value is a sensitive value. And I think this is the only like benefit to marking it as sensitive in the variable block. So it will not output the value in your plan. So that value will not be in the plan file and such. However, it'll still be in the state file, but that's the reason for having it sensitive. But yeah, I think this looks good. So I will say yes and enter. Alright, we're done. This took a little while. I don't know if it usually takes this long, but at least we have our key vault, and we have also created our key vault secret. So in the Azure Portal, we can go to our resource group, which we created here, and we have our key vault, KV demo ephemeral. If I go into this, I can go down to secrets, and I have my secret sauce right here available to me. So if I click into this and click into the current version of the secret, and I show the secret value, you can see secret I promise is what I set, and that's all fine and well. But now then, if we look into the Terraform state, so back in VS Code, currently I'm working with local state, so the state file is in my directory. It's not, I haven't defined any backend here for any other service, so we're not using that right now. But if I go into the state file, I can see the resources I've configured. So we are not interested in the current configuration, the data source, so we can lower that. I can see my key vault, that's fine. It's not what I'm after right now though. Here it is, the key vault key secret. And if we look into the properties, you can see here I have the value, and that's where I have the secret, and this is in clear text. Now I want to again reiterate that this state file, if I use the proper backend and I stored it in like Azure storage, it is encrypted at rest, so this value is encrypted while it's there. But like I said, if I am an Azure administrator and I go into the portal and I have access, I can view this file in there as well, like in the blob storage. It'll be the same contents and I can see it, and that's maybe not the most optimal thing. So but here's my secret I promise value. Okay, but back at the key vault, let's say we had a different scenario. Let's say I am building something in Terraform and I'm referencing an existing secret. We can take a look at that. So if I create a new secret in here with like a secret for real this time, I can enter a value, really secret. I don't need to set any activation or anything. I can just go ahead and create it. Now, if we are back in VS Code, the way people would normally do this is, oh yeah, referencing an existing item in Azure to use it in my deployments, I would use a data block. And sure, we can do that. We can say data, and I call it secret for real this time. And the key vault ID is the key vault that we have here, .id. Thank you, Copilot. So now then, if I run a apply here, we'll see what happens. We can see that my infrastructure matches my configuration, and I did have an action here where I read this new data block. Go back into VS Code and I go to my state file. If we look in here, so this is the key vault secret in the mode of data. So this is the new one that I was talking about, and we can see that it's the one because the name is secret for real this time, but I still have the value here, really secret. So this is still no good in that sense. Okay, back in here, so we'll do this again. Part 2, really secret. And we create this secret. Now we'll do something different. Well, I'll show you. So back in VS Code, we will do another block, but this time we'll call it ephemeral. And you can see here that an ephemeral block declares an ephemeral resource of the given time with a given local name. So Terraform will only use this at runtime, like I mentioned, and for Azure RM we can only choose certificate or secret right now, so we'll choose secret, this one. And I think the only thing I have to give it, I can actually copy the name here, but we'll do part 2, and I'm assuming I have to give it a key vault ID. Yep, so we'll do that, and we'll format, and we're good. So maybe we should actually call this really secret. And yeah, let's run apply again. So something else interesting is gonna happen here. It kind of already happened, but it'll happen again. So here it opened and closed the ephemeral resource of key vault secret of the really secret. So now then, if we go in here, I'll copy this and we'll go into the state and we'll make sure everything is expanded. Control F here. I cannot find any resources called this. If I enter this, I have a lot of things, but that's just a bunch of different resources. And we can go through this, each and every one of them. So it's not the client config, it's not key vault secret, it's not key vault itself. This is the key vault secret called secret sauce. It's not what we're after. This is the resource group, that's definitely not it, and we don't have anything else. So there you can kind of see that, yeah, we created a secret and we could see it in state. We referenced an existing secret, we could see it in state, but with the ephemeral block, it's we don't leave any trace. We only use this really at runtime then.